Well, my plan tonight was to start on the Woodpecker method, which looks like a really good book for tactics training. I don't know if I'm quite the target audience for the book, but well, I think it'll still be a good thing for me to go through. Thanks for the follow, and thanks Case Money for letting me know about the sound. Yeah, that was a little bit, it's kind of surprising that it wasn't working, because I've streamed before. I have streamed before. This is not my first time. I know a lot of people are thinking it's my first time. It's not my first time. So usually everything works all right. But yeah, I've been hearing great things about this book, and I finally had some time to get my hands on it and start going through it. I have a break now between tournaments, so I can really just try to like amp up my chess and actually try to improve my level of calculation. I feel like my calculation is good, but it could definitely be better. But yeah, let's start going through this thing. So I know it starts with some kind of introduction, and just gonna read through the info here, because the main point of this book, I think, is to go through the problems like in different stages, and then go through the same problems a second time and try to improve your accuracy and improve your speed, and then even a third time. So they're really about tracking your progress here, which I think is really cool, because I think that's a great way to do chess things. Okay, so these are not all play and win combinations. The task is to find the best move and the supporting variations. And the best move could, for instance, be to force a draw, or to just gain a small advantage, or even avoid falling for a counter tactic in a seemingly obvious combination. Oh, that's tricky. But that's good. I mean, I think this is what chess is about. You rarely just have like a shot on the goal in the game. It's really more about navigating the different potential tactics on every move. Okay, quick start 2, the Woodpecker method. If you wish to train using the Woodpecker method as advocated in this book, there are a few things you should know before starting. The main idea is to develop an intuitive and automatic pattern recognition through repetitive solving of the same exercises in a cyclical fashion. That sounds great. The Woodpecker method is quite grueling and not for everyone. Yeah. Really helped me. I already bought the book. You don't have to you don't have to sell it to me more. If you decide this method might be for you, and give it a go. Okay. Please take a quick look at the instructions on this page before you start. Cool. Okay, hopefully that's still showing up in the stream okay. Yeah, it actually still looks fine. Woodpecker training is hard. There's some definitions here: a set, the exercises that you will solve before you start all over, the cycle, 1 round of solving the set. Normally you will perform up to 7 cycles with 1 set. Okay, so step 1, solve as many exercises as you can in 4 weeks. Interesting. Okay, I think it mentioned there's about 1128 exercises in the book, so I feel like I could theoretically finish in 4 weeks if I did. How much would that be? I guess maybe like 40 problems a day, maybe slightly less than that. That actually seems reasonable if I put my mind to it. Okay, try not to spend more than 4 weeks. Chessable works on a different review schedule. Yeah, because Chessable, they tell you when it's time to like review the lines. So you can simply ignore the review button if you like. I'll probably do that. And okay, step 2. Take a break from chess for at least a clear day and up to a week if you need it. Step 3, cycle 2, go through the same exercises but try to do it faster within 2 weeks. Oh wow, so yeah, if I do 1100 problems in 4 weeks, that's okay, but then I'll have to do them in 2 weeks. Maybe not that bad if I can really put some time in there. Step 4, repeat steps 2 and 3 and repeat again. Aim to complete each cycle in half the number of days as the previous cycle, rounded up. So the Woodpecker method has been completed when the full set of exercises has been solved entirely in one day or after the 7th cycle if you are unable to solve the full set in a day. In the final 2 cycles, you should focus more on spotting ideas, patterns, and motives at speed and less on the finer details of calculation. Okay, maybe I need to readjust my plan here, because doing 1,100 problems in one day, even if they're like easy, just sounds like way too much. So maybe I should aim for like half the book in 4 weeks. But okay. Now, how do I think I should just X out of this. All right, let's continue. Hey, Mr. Hop in the DeLorean. Good to see you. Thanks for checking out the stream. So Case Money, he says the large majority are the intermediate exercises. So have you gone through the book? How much, how difficult would you say these are? Oh wow, and we have some woodpecker history. Okay, I think woodpecker is referring to, of course, the animal that just hammers away at the same spot for multiple times. So that's kind of where they get the idea about the cycles. It seems really interesting. I'm a strong believer in like the spaced repetition learning that Chessable is all about. I feel like you really need to see stuff more than once to get it really into your system and to actually learn from it. Okay, I'm interested in this part. I don't think it's that interesting for the stream to talk about the history. Oh, but he does talk about some numbers. So I would solve a set of 1,000 exercises over whatever time period it took. Once I completed the set, I would take a break and then repeat the process again and again, getting faster each time. Checked my answers. And I did not manage a full 8-hour workday, but sometimes I did. Once I reached the end of the set of 1,000, I took a well-deserved break. Eventually, I was able to solve all of the puzzles within a single day, though not within 8 hours. Initially, I intended to repeat the whole process every 6 weeks. Later, however, I decided that repeat one set of 1,000 exercises before series tournament was more realistic. So he did actually do the whole thing in one day. I don't think it was these problems, because I think they came up with their own examples, but he did 1,000 problems in one day. I mean, working his way up to it through multiple cycles. So maybe it is possible. And then, of course, he got the 3 GM norms. That is actually kind of inspiring, because I'm working on my GM norms as well. And his live rating briefly peaked at 2601. Okay. Why we wrote the book. Maybe I'll come back and read to this later. I am a big fan of the other book by Axel Smith, and I don't think Hans Tikkanen had a huge role in the first book, though he might have contributed a chapter, I think. It was called Pump Up Your Rating, and that was actually a really interesting book about just chess improvement and a lot of different things. Like, they actually had a chapter on the Woodpecker method, which then became this book as to how to, like, the best way to improve your tactics. And then there were chapters on, like, analyzing your games, improving your understanding, like preparing openings even. So it was a lot of really useful stuff. Okay, let's continue. A final session. Wow, so he talks about doing the full set, and he did the 978th and last exercise after 22 hours and 18 minutes. Wow, I don't think I'll do that in one day, but maybe I'll have like a 24-hour stream one time and just do the whole Woodpecker method in that stream. That would actually be fun. I wonder if I could do that. Okay, Case Money, the easy exercises are basic stuff, intermediates mostly like 3 to 5 move combos, some tricky, and the hards are too hard for me. Alright, well, I'll do my best. I guess today I'll probably just be going through the easy problems at first, but yeah, I gotta start somewhere. Okay, then there's some nice photo. Let's continue. And I made some progress. See, this is the great thing about Chessable. They give you like points just for going through the introduction, which I didn't fully read. Okay, general introduction. Okay, tactics are important. In preparation for writing this book, we decided to check the games with decisive results. And okay, percentage, they give a little chart here. Percentage of decisive games decided by tactical mistakes. So for grandmasters, it's 42%. For players closer to my level, it's 44%, 63%, and then 72%. And then I'm assuming before this level, it goes up even higher. Just almost every game is decided one way or another by tactics, which, yeah, is definitely logical. Alright, here we go. We have assembled a total of 1,100 exercises. So the easy ones are 222. And if these are too hard, then it would make sense just to use this as one cycle, but I kind of want to use all of the problems. However, even if we were designing a Woodpecker program exclusively for players striving for the GM title, we would have started with these puzzles anyway. So they're saying strong players should start with these, even though they're easy, just as a good warm-up. That makes sense. These simple things are the kind of things you need to see automatically during your games, rather than having to spend time and energy actively looking for them. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like it is important to practice simple problems just to really build up your pattern recognition. Okay, that the goal is not to score 100%, especially in early cycles. Many of the solutions were overlooked by a world champion. Oh, so this is about the intermediate. So yeah, it is a majority of the book, 762 exercises. So the goal is not to score 100%. That's interesting. I guess the goal is just to get through it and then eventually do better and better. We would advise the majority of readers not to use this section for Woodpecker training. Several of the positions are really tricky and more suitable for developing your ability to calculate, which veers slightly away from the main purpose of the Woodpecker method. Okay, but this is the Woodpecker method, so why would you include 144 problems that veer away from the main purpose of the book? That said, we can see this section being useful in a couple of scenarios. For the majority of readers, the easy intermediate problems will contain more than enough material to carry out an intensive Woodpecker training plan. But once you have reached the end of it and hopefully noticed a significant leap in your tactical ability, you will want to think about further training, and then you have the final section for that purpose. Okay, for extremists who are already strong players, that might be me, who possess the time, energy, and motivation to tackle this book in the most demanding way possible, this final section can be included in the main training plan. Okay, try to solve all of the exercises in one cycle under the time constraints detailed in the instructions page. To even consider taking on a challenge like this, you should probably be at a level where you're working towards the Grandmaster title. Yeah, actually that's me. That describes me perfectly. Okay, so I should just try to do the whole book at first within 4 weeks, because obviously I haven't seen any of the problems before and it'll take some time. And then just try to do it faster and faster until I can one day do them all in one day. That's cool. Speed. We want to keep the training as close as possible to a real game, so they're saying they're not giving a lot of information, and that's fair. That definitely makes it easier. In some exercises, the task is to finish off a promising position, which may be winning even without the tactic. In other cases, there are several winning moves. Okay, so it's actually not all of them are like puzzle rush type problems, but rather just some kind of decision making stuff. Alright, so the Woodpecker method is not only developing pattern recognition, but also calculation, focus, decision making, and speed. They keep trying to sell the book. It's like, I'm reading the book already. Okay, once you know certain patterns and motives, speed is key. The fastest thoughts are those that come to us automatically, and while negative thoughts can be a huge problem in psychopathology, wow, automaticity has great benefits as well. The more automatic the search for motives is, the greater is the chance that you will see enough. We take the view that a good way to develop automaticity, I feel like I'm really mispronouncing this word, is to solve a set of exercises repeatedly, gradually reducing the need for conscious searching. Yeah, I definitely agree with their general approach to tactics and tactical training. I feel like I give a lot of the same advice to my students. That, yeah, even if the problems are a little bit easy, it's good to just do like 400 easy problems, and all of those patterns will get stored in your brain a little bit deeper, and then they're easier to spot during the game, when not only you have to find tactics at various points, but a lot of times we have to find this stuff in our visualization when we're calculating and searching for multiple different variations, and then we have to see like little tactical ideas kind of all over the place. So that's kind of the main benefit. Okay, we have long held the view that virtually all books on chess combinations are missing something central to real game tactics: red herrings. Ooh. That's right. Whenever you see a problem in a book, you know there's going to be a concrete solution. We therefore decided it was important to include some red herrings where the most obvious attempts backfire. By taking away the certainty that even seemingly easy tactical shots are foolproof, we aim to bring the training experience one step closer to that of an actual game. While there could be an argument that this type of book is not necessarily the best forum for red herrings, we wanted to put our money where our mouths are. Yeah, that's actually really interesting. On one hand, it's like they're trying to build pattern recognition, in which case it's not great to put in problems where like the obvious move is false. But on the other hand, yeah, in a game, we never know whether something is working or not. So I kind of see their point. Like, you do need to work on the ability to discern fact from fiction when it comes to tactical ideas and whether or not they're working. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, a final point about exercises is that we have not only computer checked the solutions, but also human checked them. And that's good. So they're trying to remove the problems where, I mean, I'm sure they didn't do 100%. In every book, there's always going to be problems where you have some kind of seemingly obvious solution, and it turns out not to be right. They include some other solution that looks less obvious. Then you check it with the engine, and it's like your move was just as good. So that can happen, but yeah, that's not too bad of a deal. I never get too upset in that case, because like I still found a good idea, so I can be happy that I did something good. Okay, so let's continue. General Introduction Part 2. Wow, a lot of writing. World Champions. Oh, so they took a bunch of the puzzles, actually exclusively from games involving the world champions, from Steinitz to Carlsen, and including the quote-unquote FIDE knockout world champions. And not all of the tactics are flashy. That's good. Hey, thanks for the follow. I think my current goal is actually to get to 200 followers. I feel like that's some kind of bar to cross, so hopefully I can get that soon. And yeah, let's keep going. As we will see in the book, it is possible to find tactical resources even in worse positions. We are surprised at how many blunders we encountered the move before the combination. Interesting. Okay, there will be games of each world champion, and they appear in approximate chronological order. And at a FIDE trainer seminar, a coach claimed that it was important for aspiring players to know the full list of world champions in order. He was serious, and Axel didn't get it right when taking the exam. A few years later, neither of us could recall the list below in order, and trying to write down the years was not even close to possible. You're welcome to improve on our efforts, but you're also free to skip the list, finish the introductory section, and start to find combinations like a world champion. Yeah, it's actually kind of an interesting question. I think it's definitely very, very helpful for your chess to know about each of the world champions. Not necessarily because of the historical significance, I just think that stuff's interesting, but rather, I mean, they all like contributed a lot of really important ideas to the game. Like Steinitz, he was the first player who was not kind of a wild attacking romantic player like Morphy and Anderson behind him. He was the first guy to really take a very classical and solid approach to chess, like always trying to fight for the center and trying to play like correct strategically. So yeah, I think I know the order. I guess I can test myself on stream for the few people that are watching. I definitely don't know the years that the world champions were at the top, that they were world champions. So I couldn't tell you the exact years, but I think I can recall the order. Okay, Steinitz was first. I knew that one. I know it's on the screen already. Then it was, oh man, it'd be really embarrassing if I got it wrong immediately. I believe Lasker was number 2. Capablanca beat Lasker. Alekhine beat Capablanca. Then Max Euwe beat Alekhine. And then I guess Alekhine had, he won the return match, so he was kind of the next world champion after that, but the next actual world champion was Botvinnik, because Alekhine, I believe he actually passed away while being the world champion, and then they had this huge Avro tournament where I think it was 6 or 8 of the world's best players playing like a huge round robin to determine the next world champion. So Botvinnik won that tournament, so he was the next one after Euwe. Then Botvinnik lost his first match to Smyslov. Then he won the return match, so Smyslov was kind of like the next world champion. Then it was Botvinnik again. Then he lost again to Tal, so Tal is the one after Smyslov. And then he won the return match against Tal. Finally, he lost the return match against, or he lost the, I think, the initial match against Petrosian. So Petrosian was the next world champion after Tal. And then Petrosian did not give Botvinnik a revenge match, kept the title, and was defeated by Spassky, who's defeated by Fischer, who's then succeeded by Karpov, Kasparov, then Kramnik, Anand, and of course Carlsen. So that's kind of the classical lineage. I'm not sure if I remember all of the knockout world champions, but I know Halifman won one of those, Ruslan Ponomaryov won as well, and Topalov won one of the FIDE tournaments. So I think those 3 are considered the FIDE knockout world champions. I might be missing one of those. Like actually Karpov might have won it at some point too. That I honestly don't remember. Okay, let's see how I did. All right, Steinitz, Lasker, Capablanca, Alekhine. And so yeah, it gives the years he was world champion, because he was world champion 27 to 35. Then Max Euwe beat him, so he was 35 to 37, and then Alekhine won the return match. He was actually world champion for quite a while after that. I mean, 9 years when he passed away. Then Botvinnik was the next one, and we see he was world champion in 3 different stints. He was defeated by Smyslov for a year, and that he ended up holding the title. Then Tal, Petrosian. And then Petrosian kept the title until Spassky beat him, and then we have the start of the current like modern lineage. Okay, so Karpov held it from 80 and then 93 to 99. I think that refers to the FIDE stuff. I'm not a huge believer in like the split of FIDE, and it's not like I don't consider Karpov and Halifman and I guess Anand as well, and Kazimzanov. I forgot about him. Pono, Topalov. It's not that I don't consider them like legitimate world champions. It's just that like it was a different system, and for so many years we had this like classical match system where you had to beat the previous world champion unless he passed away, in which case, you know, you guys just have to kind of figure it out. So as far as I'm concerned, like nobody beat Kasparov until 2000 when Kramnik did. So for me, Kramnik was just kind of the next world champion. With all due respect, of course, to Halifman, Anand, Pano, Kazimzanov, Topalov. I mean, these guys are you know, they had to do incredible things to win those FIDE knockouts, but it's not part of like the classical system. And of course Carlsen, who is the current and reigning world champion. All right, an appeal for the unconscious. Oh boy. All right, they're talking about subliminal messaging. Okay, so here we go. The Woodpecker method is designed to develop that kind of intuition. Great. I'm all about improving the intuition. I think that's definitely a good idea. All right, some more stuff. Should a real board and pieces be used? That's a little bit ironic. Of course, they did not know that this would end up on Chessable at the time of writing, but that's fine. I personally feel like it is more useful to solve problems over the board if they're challenging. If they're kind of like easy puzzle rush type problems, or you know, stuff that you're solving within a couple of minutes, then I think the computer screen or your phone even is totally fine. But if it's like deeper stuff where you're really trying to focus and work on your calculation, I think there's a certain value to using the board, since you're, you know, presumably a tournament player and going to be using a board in tournaments and needing to work on your calculation there. Okay. So they're suggesting that maybe you should set up the position if it's difficult for you. Actually, exactly what I just said. If it takes more than a minute, you should set it up on the board. I feel like a minute is a little bit too slow. I think 3 to 4 minutes is better. Okay, how much do you need to see? Important question. Enough is the short answer, but the question is important and deserves further reflection, even though it's seldom discussed in similar books. As we have already started, we think that the task of solving should be quite similar to a real game. That's why we've included certain exercises as red herrings and others which contain several winning moves. Cool. All right, let's continue. Okay, this is some kind of instructive stuff. I don't really want to go through this. I'd rather just do the start the exercises. I think they're just kind of reviewing some typical themes, and I think they're kind of giving some calculation techniques. This stuff is useful. Maybe I'll go back and go through it, but probably it's not the best thing to do on the stream. So let's skip, and let's skip this one. Moves with tick signs. In the solutions, the move marked with this tick symbol are those which we think you ought to see before executing the combination in a game. Oh, great. This is really great, because there's so many times like we find the first move of the combination, but we really only saw like 10% of the relevant variations, and this really keeps you more honest, because then you can actually you can test yourself against what the authors think is appropriate, whether you actually calculated enough. And for me, since I'm going to be streaming this, then you know, the viewers can definitely hold me accountable, because I'll try to verbalize everything that I'm calculating, and so there won't be any confusion about what I saw or didn't see. Okay, when a move of the opponent is marked with a check, you score a point for having noticed it and determine that it's no problem. Our move trainer course. Okay, so they study with the key moves option by default. That's good. So most puzzles will stop at the check mark sign. Oh, cool. So they keep, yeah, because you'll have to input all the moves on Chessable, so they just keep the puzzle going until the authors think it's enough. Great. It is not always easy to say which moves must have been seen in advance to earn the check mark. Then give yourself full points anyway. I'm hoping Chessable will just score this for me. I don't really want to have to keep track myself, but that's okay. I'll figure something out. Okay, it's up to you to figure out if you really solve the problem or not. That makes sense. Finally, let us remind you that your objective in each training session will be to solve as quickly and accurately as possible. Thus, don't do it when you're not in good shape. Great. Sounds good. All right, I finished learning the chapter. Yeah, hard work pays off. That's right. Okay, so then there's like a summary of tactical motifs. I'm not sure if I really need to go through these. Okay, threats. Here are 8 of the most prevalent tactical themes, which include threats to the opponent's pieces or king. Okay, so this is like a simple checkmate. This is another simple mate. Oh, whoops. This one was like a simple tactic. Yeah, I don't really need to go through this stuff. I also feel a little bit bad about just like showing all of the author's work, so I think I'll just skip through this stuff. If you guys, I mean, some of you already have the book, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, I don't really need a review of these themes. And this is actually a good one. I like that they have some defensive motives as well. Bishop takes f5. Case Money says, as I went through, I found the ticks are really useful. Yeah, I'm really excited for that part. I think that was very cool. I guess you can kind of presume, you know, when you're just looking at the solution, that the authors will only give the relevant lines, but it's pretty clear that in a game, it's rare that you're going to be totally perfect in terms of what you're calculating, but you do try to see as much as you can. Alright, easy exercises. You must take your opponent into a deep dark forest where 2 + 2 = 5, and the path leading out is only wide enough for 1. Mikhail Tal. I love the quote. I think it was more referring to like making unclear sacrifices and like really complicating the position, so I don't see what it has to do with easy tactics, but okay, I definitely appreciate the effort. That's fine with me. Alright, let's continue. Okay, so basically I have like 200 problems. Okay, yeah, we just did this one, right? This was part of the intro. A win by an unsound combination, however showy, fills me with artistic horror. Steinitz. Yeah, actually, that's a good quote. That describes his philosophy as well. He was really against the unsound stuff. Actually, I was just reading in the Alpha Zero book about Steinitz. They had a little blurb about his match with Mikhail Shigorin, the Russian, one of the first, you know, top Soviet players, who's like the father of, not the Soviet chess school, but he's like the father of Soviet chess, period. And they had like a kind of like a philosophical match, because Shigorin was a very dynamic and tactical player. He liked to sacrifice stuff. And Steinitz, he believed that you can only sacrifice if you're, you know, gonna get it back, and he just believed in these like clear defensive principles. So yeah, his quote there kind of makes sense. Okay, this looks like white to play. So rook f8 check, bishop takes f8, d6. That looks like mate. I guess I have a lot of time, so I'll double check, but that looks like the right idea. Actually, that's not like super easy. I feel like I was expecting something like really trivial, but okay, we'll see. I'm sure there's a mix. Okay, bishop on d6 is pinned, and Steinitz took advantage of that with probably takes and e5. I think this is also one of the problems from the intro section. So yeah, they really just started off with some simple stuff, but that's good. Yeah, they just use the first problems to like kind of explain some concepts about tactics and calculation. I think that's really useful. Okay, black to play. So this one looks like rook d2 check, takes, and then queen takes b1. Or maybe that's the obvious one. I'm so concerned about these red herrings that I don't want to blunder into something obvious, but it looks good because if the king goes back, I'm taking on d1 with check. And yeah, I don't see anything white can do at the end of the line. Okay, this is one of those bishop takes f7 positions. King takes knight e5, knight takes g4. Looks good. I haven't used Chessable in a while, but I have to say I'm a really big fan. I mean, they really just make the training extremely fun, and I mean, I'm an adult, but I don't mind gaining points, you know. Everyone likes a good point system. Okay, I think this is taking on c6 and bishop a5, like removing the defender of this square. Oh, wait. Bishop takes c6. He can play and hit my queen. No, I need to be more precise here. Rook takes c6. Whew, that was good. I blunder checked myself there and found it. That was nice. Okay, next one. Alright, so here feels like it's something with the bishop and f3. So if I play f3 immediately, then queen takes rook c4. But if I play rook c4 immediately, queen takes, and then f3, then probably queen f1. So I guess f3 first is right. Okay. Next lesson. Okay, queen c4, knight e3 check, and I'm up a piece. If this was Puzzle Rush, I would actually just be going like much faster, but the guys scared me with their the threat of the red herring, so I'm really just trying to be extra careful. But that's good. I don't like blundering in simple positions. Okay, rook takes d7 and then king takes b5, right? Seems like he has no ideas. Alright, this is just begging for... I feel like one of my strengths is actually pattern recognition. I've done a lot of simple tactics in the last few years, really. I'm just like, I really enjoy them because it's easy to get them right. But okay, this one looks less trivial. What's going on here? Oh, bishop h6, but bishop h6 threatens queen f8, but it's kind of slow, right? Like, feels like there should be something faster. But maybe the point... Oh wait, g2 is hanging, so what am I talking about? Has to be fast. Feels like I'm kind of missing something obvious, but maybe not. Bishop e4 is a move. Queen takes e4. And then bishop f6 takes, and maybe white actually just makes a perpetual. Yeah, I'm wondering if this is one of those positions where like white is actually not better and I just have to make sure I don't get mated, because g2 is hanging, and like if I don't have any active moves, then white is just worse. But bishop e4 kind of saves the day, because rook e4, queen f8 is made, so queen takes e4, bishop f6, and then I would have this perpetual because black, everything is defended in black's position. But now I'm just doubting myself because it's not such a trivial solution. Like bishop e4, I don't know, not so easy to see. Maybe I'm just missing something with that's obvious, but queen f8 doesn't look like anything. Queen e8 doesn't look good. Queen h7 also. So yeah, I guess I'll try bishop e4 and see how it goes. Okay, just to double check, I didn't miss like a win here, but I feel like, yeah, just gonna be perpetual. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, that was not that trivial, but okay, we worked through it. Nice job, guy in a box. All right, white to play. So it looks like queen h6 check, king g8, rook f8 takes, and queen h7 mate. See, like this problem is much easier, I feel, than the other one. Maybe the other one is easy and it's just hard for me, so I'm just being subjective. Okay. This feels like white has a lot of pieces that are hanging, but maybe not hanging, maybe just badly placed. I'm kind of liking this knight f4 idea, gf4, ef4, but queen g4 or queen f3, that doesn't look super clear. Bishop d2. Oh, I guess there's knight c3 takes and I take the rook. Oof, that looks like a red herring. Maybe white has something at the end, like knight d3, but bishop gets out. Or knight e3, I can take it. Alright, I'm gonna go for it. Okay, next one. What's going on here? Rook takes d3 maybe, queen takes, queen e1 check. That seems good. Okay, bishop g2, I have to be honest, I didn't see that this was possible. I kind of thought that would be the end of it. I mean, most natural move just looks like rook d8, unless I'm missing something like queen f4. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just going to play this move because... Okay, a4... Why is this problem still going? Like, these are not concrete lines. This is just like, I'm just playing chess against the Woodpecker method right now. Hey, thanks for the follow. Knights Tour 86. Oh, queen g5. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually I missed that one. You're right. Yeah, queen g5 looks quite good. That's a nice find. Oh, it was wrong. Oh, rook d1. Oh, and just white is losing the queen. Whoops. Well, this is what I get for trusting the chat, of course. I should have just kept looking at the position. I see. So white just had no way of defending the d1 square. Okay, that is, I guess that is a good puzzle. Actually, this is from that Steinitz Chigorin match. Yeah, so I'm wondering if this move queen g5, I feel like it's completely winning. I mean, white's position is like horrible. White's position is terrible. I mean, both rooks are out of the game. The king is on c1. Bishop is bad. Queen is bad. He has like one like knight c5 idea, but it's always met with rook d2. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I just kind of I think this is one of the positions where it's like, I mean, basically any move wins. Black just has like a completely winning position, so I'm not too upset about missing that one. Okay, so that's what I don't get. It's like they have those problems that seem somewhat challenging, and then they have like simple mate in 2. Maybe that's kind of the point. Like you never know when you're going to get a simple tactic. Wow, apparently Steinitz blundered into this tactic, playing queen to c4 to d5. That's a pretty serious miss for a world champion. Okay. Well, this just looks like knight g5, queen h5 check. I feel like I know this one from Dodgy's e4 e5 tactics, because there are a lot of these kinds of problems. That's a great book. I think very useful for the chessable crowd. All right. So this seems like white can win a pawn immediately with knight takes a7, but there's also like d5. But d5, I guess maybe bishop takes b5, ab, knight a5. Maybe that's not that clear. But I wonder if I can do better than just winning this a pawn. I don't really see another option, and we are in the simple chapter, so I'm just going to go for it. And looks okay. Alright, next lesson. Okay, bishop f7, right? We've seen this one before. Not the only time Stein has executed this combination. Yeah, that's true. I actually think it's kind of cool that they just took all the games from the world champions, because you get to see like some of their best work. Okay, black has 2 pawns up, but that doesn't stop him from being precise. It would definitely stop me from being precise, but yeah, I understand the sentiment. Okay, rook takes e3 looks very convincing, because we'll have queen c2 mate, and then if queen takes b4, we just take the bishop, and then I'm wondering if white has any checks there, but it looks like no. It looks like they just have one check on the back rank, and then the king just escapes, and black should be winning. So let's try it. Okay, let's double check. Rook e2, and yeah, just the one check. All right. This one again? Didn't we just see this one? Knight g5, queen h5 check, and basically white is winning, because at the end when the king goes to d6 we have queen c5 mate, and then if knight f6, I guess we have e5, or maybe there's just queen f7 instead of queen takes g5, king d6, and e5. I mean, looks totally winning there. Black has to give back the extra piece, so I think that's good enough. I mean, in a game, if we had more time, we would calculate further, but yeah, we don't even need to see that much more. Black instead allowed a forced mate after h6. Oh wow, interesting. Alright, next one. Okay, I'm guessing it's knight g5 and queen h5. I mean, this idea has not failed so far. Yeah, I mean, the king just runs into too much trouble, and then there'll be queen e5 check and winning the rook, I think, in the corner. Okay, so takes, knight f6, okay. King e8. Oh, queen h5 check first. Yeah, I actually remember from that e4 e5 tactics book, that was kind of that was a useful motive there, because here they block with the queen and they take on e4. With queen h5, king e7, queen e5, their king is on e7, so they can't block, and we take the rook for free. Oh boy, this looks like another knight move followed by queen check. I guess knight takes e5 is more forcing. Takes, queen h5, g6, queen e5. Yeah, I thought about d5. I should have mentioned it. I think queen h5, g6, and knight takes g6 was kind of the, well, that was my idea. I feel like it's still good. Now, 3 pieces are hanging, but okay. So queen takes g6, or we can also consider rook e1. I guess I should have calculated this before. I kind of assumed queen takes g6 would be the move. Yeah, it seems very tempting. King d7, queen f5 check. King moves, bishop f4, king moves again. Maybe I do need to be precise here. Oh, I should probably just take the rook, now that I'm thinking about it. I should just take the rook, and then it takes the bishop, but it should be like a winning attack with bishop h6. Yeah, that was a little bit silly. Or rook e1 check first. There are many ways to win, and you don't have to decide in advance. Yeah, I agree. Check, bishop h6. I would have played just immediate bishop h6, but kind of the same thing. Alright, doing well so far. So let's go to the next one. Okay. I guess rook takes d5, rook d5, queen d5, cd5 takes, and we'll have an extra piece. That looks pretty clear cut. This one looks like a knight a4 idea, just trapping the rook. Oh, and we're into Lasker's games now. That's cool. Oh, right, rook a3. Okay, I didn't really see this one. Sorry about that, but I can take the pawn on c5 and... Oh, that's an alternative. I actually have a better move. Maybe queen b2 first, b4, and then knight takes c5. I can also take on e5. Now I feel like, yeah, there's just multiple ways here. I think taking on e5 first actually looks better. Okay. Oh, I earned a badge. Oh, this is actually my first study session beyond 1 hour. Yeah, I usually don't do this much. I'm kind of a 30 to 40 minute guy myself. But, okay. Not bad. Black to play. Alright, white's king looks very weak. So, maybe rook e5, queen takes e5. Queen f3 check, take the rook with check, and then drop back. I don't think I'm going to find something better than that. And yeah, they just end the problem there. Probably queen d7. Okay, Capablanca. Oh, and there's a quote. Chess is a very logical game, and it is the man who can reason most logically and profoundly in it that ought to win. I think I missed the Lasker quote. I don't know if anyone caught it, but I don't remember reading it. Okay, white has a minor piece less, but can more than make up for it with the following double threat. Oh, that's kind of a hint. Is it rook f6? It feels like a rook f6. Take, queen h5, and then take on e6 with a powerful attack. Yeah. Oh, ef6 maybe? Uh-oh. I've started to second guess myself. That's not, no, but then rook g5. Yeah, that's not clear. All right, Capablanca, Schrader, queen h5. That looks good. Next lesson. Okay, what's going on here? Is the bishop hanging? What are they doing? Is this is this a red herring problem? Why would they do this? I mean, there is rook h8, but bishop g5 check. King moves and then g3, right? So I should just take the bishop. What's happening? Oh, rook g2. They caught me. They caught me with the red herring. Unbelievable. That's a mate. That's a mate. Okay, now I feel like both queen g6 and rook g8 are winning. So go with this one. Oh, bummer. But okay, you know what? They said the point is not to get 100%, so it would be wrong of me to go for the 100%, obviously. Let's keep going. All right, this looks like a queen g7, takes, and that's mate. Not much to discuss there. Oh well. It happens, guys. It happens. Okay, knight f6 check and takes. And then up an exchange. Nice. Okay, I think I've seen this one before. Rook h4 and g3. And then bishop c8 if he goes up. And if he doesn't, then taking the rook. Oh, rook f2. I remember this one from the intro. Nice defensive tactic. See, I have great pattern recognition. I saw the problem like an hour ago or a little bit less, and I remember it. Rook g8 and then takes and then knight f6 check. Spacebar will just open the next problem. Oh yeah, I think I knew that. I don't really mind clicking the next one so often. Okay, everything is with check. Oh wow. Oh, maybe it just wants queen takes g5 first, but I feel like rook takes g8 is, I mean, that's the one that's with check, so that's kind of more accurate, but okay. That's fine. And then king h7 or king g8, both just knight f6 and taking. Okay. I feel a rook e8 check coming in the position, so maybe queen d5. That looks like, okay, pretty convincing. Nice. Oh boy. Okay, rook on d1 is hanging, this one's hanging, e4 pawn maybe hanging too. Yeah, bishop takes e4 and then too many critical points, seems like. Winning material. Then do we take with the queen or with the rook? Oh boy. I guess with the rook, right? Because of the opposite color bishops. We want to keep more pieces on the board. Neither of these moves have something tactical wrong. So, I mean, they're probably both fine. Okay, rook c4. Yeah, it kind of makes more sense to keep more pieces on the board. Okay, white to play. This looks like a rook e6 and bishop d5, and then we have a good endgame with the exchange, but a couple pawns for it. Very nice and active king. Yeah, really solid position. Lots of compensation. Nice job, Capablanca. Oh yeah, I feel like this is a famous game, right? This is the copycat game. Bishop g7 takes, queen g5, and queen f6. I've shown this game a lot to schools and beginning players. Okay. This looks like rook d3, queen e5, and pick up the rook. I feel like I'm good with the hanging piece puzzles, like the double attacks. Okay, can play queen b2 check also, but yeah. I mean, this is the one thing that I really hate about online tactics trainers, but Chessable doesn't have this problem, is that with a tactics trainer you have exactly one solution, and so even if your move is winning you can still get it wrong. With Chessable, they do have alternate solutions, and they have stuff like, okay, your move is good but it's not as good, and I think that's really important. Well, this one, I mean, I do see bishop h7 and g6, but bishop h7, king h8 is, I mean, not like immediately over, but then if not that, then what, right? Because g6, just queen f6 doesn't look that tempting. I'm tempted by this bishop g6 move, but actually he can just take twice and there's nothing clear, so I guess I just have to take the pawn. We are in the easy exercises. Okay, now they're gonna force me to I didn't actually choose my move. Maybe bishop g6 and h6 actually looks good for white. I'm not 100% sure, but I guess that's fine. Cool. Oh, let me make sure. Okay. Still looks good at the stream. All right. White to play. I guess bishop h7 is the idea. This knight is also hanging, but rook takes c2, and that seems fine for black. So we'll go for the discovered attack. Okay. Well, black's pieces look very precarious here. So there's g6 takes f6, rook d7. That doesn't look so great. If I go f6 immediately, then rook g6. Oh, knight f7 and g6, is that just the whole point? I guess that's pretty simple. Oh, that wasn't it. Oh, so knight takes f7 was actually played in the game. And this turns out to be drawn for black. Oh, I fell for a red herring. No, this is like the one thing I'm trying to avoid. So f6 was right. Instead, normal moves give 2 points. Thanks, Esoteric PA, for the follow. So yeah, this is a position where any normal move in white is better. So, and okay, now I guess the follow-up is not that obvious. I mean, rook e7 looks tempting, but then I guess takes on h6 takes, rook f6 is a problem, and my rook will be hanging. Yeah, I was thinking about bishop g5, but I don't think it quite works at the end. So they said it's just normal moves, so I kind of feel like it's just like knight f5 or king f3. I don't know, I'm very confused as to what I'm looking for here. Let's try to figure it out. Let's not be lazy. So rook e7 I think is still just not working because of rook h takes h6, rook takes f6 check. King g3, king takes e7, bishop g5, and then even king or bishop c2 will cover the h-pawn. So how to keep the advantage for... I guess I'm not really worried about him taking on h6 and taking on f6 because my h-pawn will be strong, but it's not that obvious. Yeah, kind of a weird problem. I can't say this is my favorite problem so far. Just not seeing a clear best move for white, like bishop f4. Knight f5 is tempting, but then it allows rook h2 check, king g3, rook takes a2, and it's not obvious how white breaks through there. Yeah, kind of a weird one. Nothing is really speaking to me. I'm just gonna try king up. Oh, bishop f4. Yeah, but why is this move so much better than king f3? I feel like it's kind of the same thing. I was thinking about this move, but it didn't seem like such an obvious solution. Maybe now I'm threatening rook e7, and so it's kind of strong. So yeah, Gravely pawn, you are correct. Bishop f4 is the move. This is kind of a weird puzzle. I mean, it's like, well, okay, the point was to avoid the tactic that doesn't actually work and just keep the advantage. So yeah, fair enough. They got me there. Hopefully I'll remember that one for next time. Okay. Oh, and the h2 square is covered. Yeah. You are correct on that. So it is helping white improve the position. This looks like knight d6 and bishop g6. See, with this stuff, it's like bang bang, but when the move is not obvious, then it's hard. Okay, rook b6, knight d5. I think I've seen this game. Yeah, Capablanca, Mises. Oh, a takes and just trading rooks and winning the b pawn, and white has a winning rook endgame. Okay, very classical position, playing against the IQP. This looks like bishop takes a6 and rook c6. And white simplifies and liquidates into just totally winning position. Okay, a lot of possibilities here. There's like knight f6, knight h7, queen h5. But everything feels covered, actually. There's also like bishop c4 moves. Okay, queen h5 I guess would be met with h6. And not seeing the follow-up there. So knight f6 check, knight takes f6. Why would that be anything for white? Okay, knight takes h7, king takes knight f6. Oh yeah, I guess it's kind of easy. You see, sometimes you just have to go through the candidate moves and figure it out. And of course I didn't see f5, but I imagine white should have something. Knight takes f8, f takes e4. Not super clear, to be honest. Knight hg5 takes on e4, takes on e4. That looks a lot healthier. And just taking this bishop on b7. This was a good one. I like this problem mainly because I got it right, so that's how I consider these things. Okay, next one, number 46. This looks like a knight b5, but he's gonna have bishop g3 check, so I'm not sure how good this is. Knight b5 takes, bishop g3 takes, queen takes, bishop f2. Oh, and then I'm turning knight d6 check, so it's kind of bad for black. That makes sense. I mean, I also have moves like king e2 here, but I don't really see the point. Nice. Okay. 47. Rook e4, queen a1 check. I'm good with these back rank tricks. I learned that you just have to look for the deflection. That's the key. Okay, Gregory Levenfish. So there's a mate on h7 hanging, but knight f5 check would not be the way. Knight takes f7, rook takes, leads to mate. So knight f7 looks very promising. It's also hitting the queen. And then I have queen h8 check. Okay, 49. Oh boy. These pieces are hanging. So rook d5. And then queen has no moves. Bishop e6, I just move out of the way. Or I can take on a5. And this one just wins the queen. Oh boy. Rook h7, check. Queen h6, mate. That looks clear. Bishop g2, rook g4, I guess. Yeah, now I feel like, oops, I'm getting into the rhythm. Okay, I guess rook g4 works anyway. Was not expecting queen g3. Oh, and we've moved on to Alekhine, except he actually lost this game, so that's not good. But Alekhine is had some very, very nice combinations, so I'm looking forward to this one. Okay, this looks like queen g2 check, followed by mate. I see. So the problems, maybe they get easier once you go to the next world champion, because you're kind of starting with all of the easy ones and then moving on to the hard ones for each individual player. Okay, this looks like f3 and then grabbing the rook. Very nice. Bishop h2, check, and then winning the rook. Okay, rook takes f5, queen g7. That looks pretty clear. I mean, if he goes e3 at the end, I guess just queen f6 and too many checks. And yeah, should be good for white. Okay, bishop h7, yeah? This one I feel like I know from my childhood. Okay, queen e1. Clearance. I love me a good clearance tactic. Oh wow, it continues. Knight f3. Okay. Oh, so our knight is trapped. We have to find actually an accurate way to get out of this. If rook e8, then bishop can just move. Oh, I didn't know I can make arrows. That's cool. It's not helpful, but it is cool. But rook e8, how am I getting out of this? Bishop d1? I guess I have knight f4 check, and then I can take another pawn for it. Oh, it's an alternative. Okay, it's not the best. I can also take on f3 and just, I have 2 extra pawns. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's easier, because, okay, the other one was like rook and 3 pawns for 2 minor pieces with no weaknesses. I think it's a pretty clear-cut win, but this is probably simpler, just having 2 extra pawns for nothing. Okay, this looks like knight takes e4 and then c5. And the queen doesn't have any moves. So should be just winning for white. I don't know how many problems I'm going to get through tonight. We'll see. I don't feel too taxed yet. Okay, it looks like d5 is hanging, so maybe knight takes d5 check. It seems pretty good. Okay, knight d5, yeah, this is a famous one. Yeah, I don't see any immediate tactics, but b4 is a really good like positional move just to fight for the d4 square. So that might be kind of the idea. Oh wait, I can just take everything, huh? Yeah, whoops. I don't see any tactics. Spoke too soon there. Okay, back rank issues. This looks like I attack the rook, white defends, I take the rook and I give check. But maybe, because like queen c4. Oh, I think this is rook f3. I feel like this is a famous one as well. I think I've seen this one. Rook f3, queen to the second rank, and white has no defense. Oh, queen e6. Yeah, very famous game. This feels like bishop g6, yeah? I feel like I've seen this one too. Okay, bishop b5. This one I've definitely seen. I don't remember where, but it was many years ago. Okay. Rook d8 or queen takes b7? Rook d8, bishop f8, queen takes f6. Queen takes b7, check, bishop f8, bishop a3. I think that's actually not winning because takes bishop f8 and then h5. So I think it's rook d8. And then whoa, queen takes b5 is also hanging. I should be careful. Wait, queen f6, queen takes b5. Do I have anything there? Like bishop a3? c5. Thanks for the follow, biological one. I need to somehow get rid of these squares. Very annoying. Queen f6, queen b5, bishop a3, c5. Bishop takes c5. No, then rook takes d8 and queen takes c5. Oh, bishop takes e5. You know, I missed this move in one of my games recently, actually, too. So the point is, after queen b5, I can just take here, and I'm giving mate. Oh, this one actually didn't work because of knight d7. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, in one of my games recently, I just missed that I could play bishop takes e5 in some position, or at some line, and like I have this mate on h8. So it kind of reminded me of that. Oh, this looks like a famous line in the Caro, the two knights. So this is just knight f7 and queen e6. I've seen this one. Okay, bishop takes f6 maybe? That looks pretty clear. Takes and king f5. By the way, guys, I hope this is instructive. I don't know if the chat is enjoying me going through these and giving my thoughts, but yeah, that's kind of the point. Bishop takes, and this bishop on e7 is hanging. Oh, I think, is this the queen h6 game? Or maybe, hold on, maybe knight f6 first. Takes. And then there's no stopping queen h6, knight g5, and just winning attack. Okay. Knight h6 check takes, bishop takes f6, and then we'll have queen g3. This is actually a really, really useful idea to know. I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, and we're moving on to Max Oive. Alright. Going through the list. Oh, this one I've seen. I feel like this was maybe in Kasparov's book. My Great Predecessors. Okay. Black to play. Is it bishop takes g2? And then check. Oh, and rook on f1 will be hanging, right. Okay, queen c3 and knight e4. Kindergarten. This is a famous one. And white ends up with an extra pawn. And should be winning this king and pawn endgame. Okay. This one looks interesting. Oh, knight takes e4? I wasn't seeing that. Oh boy. Rook d3 takes and up a pawn, right? Unless there's rook takes e6, but then rook takes b3, so that doesn't work. Oh, it can also take first. But it doesn't matter, right? Bishop c4 or rook takes d3 are both winning. But this one, I guess, is slightly simpler. Okay, bishop c4 first makes no difference, so I'm sure they wouldn't have docked points for that. This looks like rook takes g2, rook takes, and then check, and he doesn't have any checks, so should be good for black. I wonder if they'll have the famous game Oive versus Najdorf Oive? Oive Reshevsky? Reshevsky Oive? You know, the one with rook c2 in the Nimzo Indian that Oive won with black. I feel like it's one of his more famous games. Who is that against? I think that was against Reshevsky. Okay. Anyway, if I take on g2 here, king d3, I take the rook. He has a check, and then that's it. So that looks clear. Oh, and if rook f2, I take it, and I have this trick. So that's probably the main point of the problem. Okay, this looks like something's hanging. Rook takes b2. Looks like clear pawn. Alekhine Oive. Alright, rook d2, knight b3. That looks like a pawn. Thank you very much. This, I think, e1 square is hanging. Knight d4. So for rook d4, bishop d4, yeah, it all works out at the end. Or if knight d4, of course, we would have rook e1 check. Okay, black's king looks busted. Knight e5, bishop g5, and then just taking on d8 at the minimum. Oh, knight e6? Okay, I missed that one. My bad. That's not good. That's a little bit lazy on my end. So let's make sure we can find the win here. So bishop d2 takes, bishop b4 check, king f7 kind of gets out. Yeah, I don't actually see an obvious... I guess I'm just trying to hold on to my extra piece here. I don't know why I have to look for a concrete win. Oh, knight c6 check. Takes. Oh, that was wrong. My bad. Oh, knight d3, just defending the bishop. Yeah, that's pretty simple. I thought knight c6 takes, and then I'm picking up the rook, but maybe that's not super clear. Also, he can move the king, but I was thinking if he moves the king, I would play bishop g3, and then I just have the same idea. But okay, knight d3 is a lot simpler. That's quite apparent. So I won't argue with that one. Okay, knight f3 check. Looks like an exchange. So far I think I've lost track. I've definitely gotten more than 2 wrong, maybe a few wrong. My accuracy is pretty good though so far, 97%. And gained a lot of experience. That's cool. Okay, white to play. Wow, is it really a tactic here, huh? That's surprising. Oh, bishop takes e6, I guess. And queen f5. Nice. Yeah, looks like the pawn is going through. Nice puzzle. I always love these pawn promotion puzzles. They're so nice. Okay, queen e5. I remember this one from the intro chapter. This is called removing the defender. Okay, bishop takes f6 and e7. I guess, I wonder if these are organized by theme. Is this the removing the defender section of Max Oive games? Is that what's happening? Just looks like a lot of removing the defender. Oh, Mikhail Botvinnik. Chess mastery essentially consists of analyzing chess positions accurately. That's interesting. That's a good point. Yes, Mr. Knight's Tour. This is chessable. And yeah, I really like their site. I think it's a great way to train not just openings, but also I've done the endgame book on it, and I thought that was really cool. And tactics as well. I mean, it's basically just working through the tactics book online. Okay, so I have to find the last move of this problem. I guess rook d1 is the only safe square for the rook, and black has gotten an extra pawn out of all this. Alright, Botvinnik Lilienthal. I feel like I've seen this position before. I think this is just knight takes c3. Yeah, I always struggle with this tactic, but queen takes a3, the rook just recaptures and the knight is defended. So I've learned from my mistakes. Okay, this one looks like rook e3. It's always interesting seeing the ones that they were on the wrong side of. You know, I have seen a lot of these games before. I think it's because they've been played by the world champions, and so a lot of their combinations are already in a lot of combination books that, you know, some of I've gone through. I've also gone through a lot of like tactics apps, and so a lot of these problems show up there. But so far I feel like I haven't seen most of the problems. I feel like I've seen maybe 20% before or so. Maybe more. Like this one, it looks half familiar, but I can tell you that I don't know the answer off the top of my head. So I am just kind of genuinely trying to solve it. Bishop e4 looks interesting. The rook d2 just takes, and then he has no way of stopping the pawn. Yeah, bishop e4 looks good. I'm just having doubts. Like, okay, he can take on e3, but then bishop takes e3, rook takes d2, I take on f3, I take on d2, I'm up a piece. Yeah, I don't see any other moves from him, so I'm gonna try it though. For the record, I'm hesitant. Alright, it was good. Maybe a downside of using world champion games, if it's even a bad thing if some are familiar. I mean from their point of view, it's not a bad thing because they're just trying to train pattern recognition. So if I've already seen the problem before, it just means that my pattern there is rock solid, and that's fine. I would say even if you recognize a position, a lot of times you don't remember all of the details of like the key combination. It's just that we're starting with the easy ones, so the key details, even if I don't remember them, they're not that hard to figure out. Okay, this looks like queen takes c7. It's a nice little back rank trick. Oh, Vasily Smyslov. Nice. Not a whole lot of tactics by Botvinnik, I guess, huh? Alright, he says, we are delighted by great combinations and flaws are less important details. Shakhmatnaya Nedelia, 2003. Sounds like a Russian chess newspaper. Okay, knight d5, I was thinking. Hits the queen and opens up against the bishop. Wait, bishop on g4 is hanging. What's that about? But this is an extra piece. Okay, so I can give that one back. I think white just ends up with some extra material here. Extra pawn. Nice. Wow, one tactic by Smyslov and already... Geez, I guess the guy didn't have a lot of simple tactics in his games. Okay, we're on to Mikhail Tal. In my games, it's queen h3. In my games, I've sometimes found a combination intuitively, simply feeling that it must be there. Yeah, we've all done that. Yet I was not able to translate my thought processes into normal human language. Nice. I mean, I don't think this is such an intuitive combination. I think maybe he's talking about some of his deeper stuff, but okay. All right, Queen D7. Take that one. This looks like maybe, wait, Queen check, King, Rook E3 first. Oh, and then check and Knight F3. Yeah, I was actually thinking about Rook E3. Then I second guessed myself. All right, Rook D8, King E7. I just take the Rook. Yeah. Okay. Oh, checkmate. Queen D5, right? Check and Rook H8 mate. Okay, Rook H2, King G1, Rook G2. If he takes, I'll have Knight E3. King F. Oh, just take the queen, right? So that looks good. Maybe I'll try to get through all of the easy exercises tonight. Not sure if that'll be possible, but maybe I can do my best. Okay, I have Bishop H7, but I also have Queen H5 first. Double attack, because this only wins a pawn, but Queen H5 seems like it wins a piece. Oh, it was wrong. Oh, Knight F5. I missed that one. My bad. And G4 runs into Rook H6. Ouch. Yeah. Oh well. So it was just grabbing a pawn. Yeah, I went too fast on that one. Need to slow down a little bit. But that's okay. Alright, white's down a lot of pieces, but what's going on here? Bishop G7, King G8. Should be some checkmate there. I can also take with the rook on G7. Or maybe I have something else, because Bishop takes H6 is not really a threat. Or maybe it is actually. Queen F6, King G8. Feels like maybe I'm just missing something rather obvious, but I guess it's not obvious since I'm missing it. So Bishop takes G7, King G8. Bishop F6, King takes F7. There's no mate. Bishop H6, King takes F7. Oh, I don't have Queen H5 check. So Bishop G7, King G8. Queen takes F6, but Rook E6. Rook F8 check. Queen E6 maybe. Rook F8 check anyway. But takes. Queen takes E6. King takes G7. And he has a lot of pieces. He has 3 pieces for the queen. I don't know. I actually don't know. Let's keep thinking, because I have a lot of time, so I'd rather just get it right rather than guess. What am I missing? If Rook takes G7, I'm threatening Queen takes F6. Queen E6. Yeah, it doesn't feel like white is actually winning there. Queen G3, Bishop takes H6. Oh, Bishop H8? Is it Bishop takes G7, King G8, Bishop H8? King takes F7, Queen takes F6 check, King G8, Queen G7? But that's hard. That's not an easy puzzle. I feel like Nakamura when he does Puzzle Rush and he gets like 35 in a fraction of a second and then they give him like an endgame study and he's like, what? What are you doing? Okay, yeah, but that looks pretty good. So takes king g8, bishop h8. I feel good about this one. I feel like I got through some resistance. And queen h7 is also hanging, so there's no like queen g4 moves. But yeah, I mean, this is not exactly a trivial tactic to see, I have to say. But all right, I feel happy that I worked through it. Okay. Rook e2 and d3, and now they just go back to like easy problems, so it's kind of it's kind of surprising. And take the rook with check and promote. Okay. What's going on here? Rook a1 check, just king g2. Oh, rook takes c3 and I pick up a pawn. Yeah, Tal was a genius. How do you find this? Okay, knight f7, this is the Alekhine tactic. Knight f7, queen e6, and minimum I can take the bishop on d6, so I don't think I have to calculate more. But I also have just checkmate, so maybe that was a little bit better. Alright, rook e1, the hook and ladder trick, and then queen d4 and rook a1. This is one to remember. This one we should just... It gets missed so often, but I feel like at this point we should just all know about it. Okay, knight takes f4 and rook e2. Oh, this is a Petrosian tactic. Hold on, let me not miss the quote. In general, I consider that in chess everything rests on tactics. Wow, Petrosian said that. If one thinks of strategy as a block of marble, then tactics are the chisel with which a master operates in creating works of chess art. Well said. Alright. Let's see. This one just looks like a sacrifice, like rook e6, queen f6, and black's position collapses. I don't think we have anything better than that. That looks... Wow, that's not right. Oh, bishop takes c4. Oh, the rook is hanging on e1. Yeah, I actually totally blundered this. I thought I would have queen f6, but yeah, he can just take on e1 and he's doing fine. And if bishop c4, he has this trick anyway with rook d1 coming and he wins in exchange. Okay, yeah, I missed that one. Fair enough. So bishop c4, hopefully I'll remember that for next time. I'm just so used to the exchange sacrifice being associated with Petrosian that I kind of just assumed it was rook takes e6. But okay, that's fine. Alright, okay, bishop takes g4 and rook g6, that looks pretty clear. Yeah, a lot of these tactics are just like winning a pawn, which I think is cool because they are more frequently seen than the flashy ones. Okay, what's going on here? Seems like the idea is just we can push d4 and then if rook takes we have queen b6. And then check we have rook d8. That's very important. Okay, this rook is hanging. This looks like an in-between move. Knight takes d5 and then knight f6 check. Feels like, yeah, nothing better than that. And just takes. And, okay, looks like totally winning endgame. Alright, Petrosian, Barza. Oh boy. Knight e6 and bishop takes d5. But which knight takes on e6, huh? Knight f or knight g? Maybe they're both winning, but still, I want to be accurate. Because we take on e6, he takes, bishop takes d5, we go knight d8, and then we can pick up the rook. Okay, it's an alternative move. I guess they're both good. Okay, bishop takes d5. And then knight d8. We just take, and then, yeah, white is just winning there. Oh, queen g8. I remember this one from the intro. But also, I have seen this problem before. Queen h8. Famous one. Very, very famous. Maybe Petrosian's most famous move, actually. Apart from the maybe some of the exchange sacks. Definitely one of his more famous combinations. Okay, I think this is Rook G7. I feel like I've seen this one before. Definitely seen this motive. Okay, Rook G1, Knight F2. Simple stuff. I'm still thinking about that tall tactic. Bishop G7, Bishop H8. Man, that was hard. Okay, this looks like removing the defender. Oh yeah, and then either of these moves. I actually didn't see that the knight was hanging, to be honest, but I feel like I've seen the problem before. Okay, Rook E4, check, and then check. Love me some back rank tricks. What's happening here? Oh, we've moved on to Spassky. Nice. He says, I had a good feeling for the critical moments of the play. This undoubtedly compensated for my lack of opening preparation and possibly not altogether perfect play in the endgame. Wow. That's very, it's very astute by the world champion. It looks like D3 and then we take on E2 with in-between move. I like that they threw in some in-between moves. These are very important. This looks like Rook F1 and Queen E1. Good old decoy. Bishop A6. This feels like a Bishop A6. Sometimes you just know. Like Tal said, intuitively, you can feel it. Okay. White to play. Oh, it's just a pawn. Sometimes I'm like, this position looks interesting. I wonder if there's something deep here. No, but it's just a pawn, and then white has like a winning rook endgame. Okay, what's going on here? Rook on F5 is hanging, knight on B4 is hanging, so desperado time. And AB4, and beautiful, beautiful outpost on C5. White should have a winning endgame. Okay, queen takes. Good old clearance sack. This is the old Queen H6. That's definitely a well-known position. Queen G1 or Rook G2? Both of these moves are popping out at me. Rook G2, actually, and maybe not so easy. Queen E4? Or is it Queen E4 immediately? Or both? Maybe both of these moves are just good. I mean, white has this like Queen A7 check, but King H6, and then we're safe. Oh, but maybe Rook takes G2. He has some kind of immediate Queen E7 check. King H6, Queen F. Yeah, that already looks unclear enough to make me want to just play Queen E4. Oh, it wasn't this. It was Queen takes. Oh, I missed the mate with Bishop B5. My bad. Yeah, that one's on me. That one's definitely... I thought it's like the king is just getting out, but we have this Bishop B5 check. That's a good one. Hopefully I don't miss that one again. I thought Queen E4 was just winning. I wonder if it is winning, actually. Maybe I missed something. I mean, of course, Queen G1 is a lot more forcing and better. But, yeah, what am I missing with Queen E4 here? Why does that not work? I mean, if Rook takes E8, just Queen takes E8, and we're winning, so... Yeah, it looks like Queen E4 also wins, but okay, Queen G1 is more forcing, so can't argue with that. Okay. This looks like maybe F5 takes Rook E7. Queen moves and we take the bishop. See, they lull me into a false sense of security with some of these easier puzzles, and then I feel like it's all supposed to be easy, and then I kind of misjudge things from there. But that's okay. That's on me. Oh boy, checkmate hanging. Bishop G6, Rook takes, check. King H8. Oh, takes and Rook E7, right? Just leading to mate. It's always good to know when you have to force mate with checks, because it really reduces your options of what you need to calculate. Okay, let's see. I'm really tempted by knight d4 and c3, but bishop just moves, so... Oh, rook h1 and then knight d4, yeah? Winning 2 pieces for the rook. And winning position. Stalemate trick. Has to be. Whenever it's a queen endgame and you have no pawns, it's always a stalemate trick. Don't even have to think twice. Alright, what's going on here? Is something hanging that I'm not aware of? Because we can't move our f-pawn, our queen is just hanging with check. Knight b3 check doesn't look that interesting. So what am I missing? I feel like white doesn't really have a huge threat other than queen takes d6, maybe rook f4. Oh, bishop takes a2? Is this the trick? There's no other way to win a cheap pawn, so yeah, kind of makes sense. Okay, rook d8 takes. See, the mates I can... Oh, we're in Fischer's games now. Whoops. Okay, tactics flow from a superior position. Was that really the best quote they could find? Alright, fine. And mate. I feel like a lot of people have said that, not just Fischer. In fact, I feel like Stein had said that. Not even sure that's a thing Fischer said. Alright, but I have a lot of respect for the great Bobby Fischer. He was an amazing chess player. Okay, this looks like knight takes d5 and then bishop takes d4 check. And then knight takes b4 at the end. That looks good. Oh, whoops, knight e6. Missed that one, but yeah, I feel like white just has too many things hanging. Yeah, knight f4, knight d8, and knight e2 check is possible. So this one, I guess, just rook takes f4 and rook d4. Looks like white has no defense after knight takes rook d4. Okay, bishop takes h2. Wow, they really went back to basics here. Okay, this one I remember, I mean, it wasn't this puzzle, but it's the same theme. Removing the defender. Okay. Sac mate. So bishop g7, e takes d3, and f6. Simple chess, right? Box him in. Oh, that was in the Varna Olympiad. Nice. Okay. Knight takes e3, takes, bishop takes c4. And we keep our extra piece. Because we were hitting mate on g2. Okay, knight d4, knight f6 check. Oh, I missed this one, but I feel like it doesn't matter. Fischer-Richburg. Bishop takes c5, bishop takes c5, then b4. Knight d7. Takes, knight takes. I mean, white's better there, but is it... Oh, and then we'll have queen c2 at the end. Oh, okay. So that is actually winning. So I was thinking, yeah, knight d7, we can take, knight takes, and then queen c2, and he's losing material anyway. Oh, the only critical move, but it is simply bad. Nice. Alright, next lesson. Fischer-Byrne. Oh, but it was black to play, so Fischer lost this one, huh? Okay, what's going on here? Bishop takes e2, takes on e7. If we take... Bishop takes g4, knight g4, h3. That doesn't look so great. Maybe bishop takes e2, knight takes e7, and we just move the king because we're going to win the exchange. Oh, I'm not counting the pieces right here. Oh, I'm down some material. Okay, I think I have to be a little bit more precise. Bishop d6 looks like a strong move. And then h3, I'll take on e2. Yeah, that looks good. That looks a lot better. Okay, game continues, apparently. Let's just take the rook. Fischer Gligorich. Rook f6 looks very tempting. And what I've learned so far from this book is that if you have a way to win a pawn using a cheap tactic, then that's probably correct. Check and queen f2, right? I actually remember this. I feel like I've solved this problem. Also, Shanklin missed like a win that was similar to this in a US Championship game last year. He won the game anyway, but I kind of remember that trick from there. Okay. Gligorich Fischer. Knight d3 takes, and then no way to defend the check. Okay, but this one we just grab the exchange. Alright, now we're up to Karpov. Anatoly Karpov. Blunders rarely travel alone. Wise words. Actually, you know what? I think there is a lot of wisdom there, because what I found is a lot of times I'm throwing away points in my games not because of the first mistake that I made, but actually the multiple mistakes I make after that. Sometimes due to the frustration of making that initial mistake. So there is something to be said about the skill of recuperating from making a mistake during the game. Some players, once they realize they mess up, they kind of collapse mentally, and that really impairs them for the future. But I think a much healthier approach is to just accept that you're gonna make mistakes in the game, and if you do, you have to do your best to put it behind you and keep the game going. Actually, Karpov is kind of noted for being very good at that. It's kind of like having a very short memory for this kind of stuff. Whether his opponents, like if he blundered, now he's worse, he has to defend, he just doesn't care, he just holds it. Or if he was worse the whole game and now he's better, all of a sudden he has no problem turning it on and playing it for the win. Okay, so a lot of stuff going on in this one. I mean, we have knight b2, but then queen takes f5. It's very unclear to me. We also have bishop b6 check, which looks extremely dangerous. King f1, and then maybe just rook f4 takes, queen f4, queen f2 at the end, or bishop f3 will just take that. Yeah, that looks very, very strong. And winning. Ooh, interesting. Because of course we can take the bishop, but then rook c6, and we don't have any tricks. If we go rook e7 check first, king f8, I don't really see the difference. I guess we can keep the pawn after dc7, rook c6, rook h7. Do we have anything else? Feels like no. So take, and then take on h7. Oh, and then it's actually, well, I guess we're winning either way, because we're gonna go rook d7 or rook h7. Oh, actually I just have check, and yeah, this is easier. Okay, fair enough. Alright, what's going on with this knight on b7? Okay, probably captured something. This looks like rook e2. They're gonna trick me with these tactics, because I'm just getting into the habit of, once I see a easy way to win a pawn, I'm just like assuming that's it. Okay, this is well known. This is a really famous one. Knight g3, and then rook drops back, and white has no way of stopping rook h8. The mate. Also a famous game. This is Korchnoi Karpov. And mate. Oh, I feel like I've seen this one too. Karpov Geller. Oh, queen c4, right? What am I talking about? Yeah, rook a8 is just beautiful. One of the best moves of all time. So satisfying. So geometrically satisfying. Alright, open position. Lot of ideas here. Okay. Bishop h6 check is possible. There's also queen b8 check. But bishop h6 just looks so tempting. King e7, queen b4 check, and then queen d6 or rook takes d5. Okay. Oh wow, that was wrong. Just queen d5. Ooh, I guess I fell into their trap. Okay, move order is important here. So bishop h6, king e7. I thought I would have queen b4 check, king d7, and this is where I got lazy. I realize now that rook takes d5 is actually met with queen d5. My bad. And queen d6, I guess he just moves the king. And then if I take on d5, e2 is hanging. So yeah, I really didn't pay attention to this one. So that's on me. So queen takes d5, and then I guess the point of is queen d5, bishop b4. Yeah, I definitely missed that one. Fair enough. That's a pattern I'm going to have to remember. Okay, I guess bishop h6 also works. I don't think there's a huge difference. Oh, queen c5. There is a difference. This one just wins a lot more cleanly. Yeah. Yeah, see, blunders don't come alone, right? Karpov, he taught us. I missed the first move, then I assumed I knew the idea, and turns out I didn't. Wow. Well, that was instructive. Yeah, I missed this first idea, and then just kind of assumed it was bishop b4 check, which is actually terrible because of queen c5, and black is going to keep an extra exchange, so that's on me. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, Karpov Miles. Knight d5 and bishop f6, I guess, looks very strong. Alright, Karpov, Gavrikov. If queen f8, king f8, and then check king e7, so that's not... Oh, is this another bishop h7 trick? Alekhine style? Alright, rook g8, yeah? Clear and simple. This is the deflection part. Knight d5, is the queen just trapped? Oops. Okay, and then any other move is just knight c7, winning the exchange. Okay, I feel like there's some queen g6 in this position. This feels like a well-known puzzle. Oh yeah, queen g6 and rook h4. That's the queen g6. Yeah. Nice one. Okay, bishop h7 and something's gotta give. Karpov Lobrun. Rook e6, I guess? So if queen f6, we're up a rook. If rook e6, we have check, and then queen f4 with check. And then g3, queen f2 at the end, or queen g3, we can trade queens and we take the bishop. So this looks convincing. Hopefully not missing anything. Very scarred from all the puzzles I've missed so far, but I think I've done okay. What's my accuracy? 97%. I really want to get it to 98, but you never know. Okay, Karpov Gurevich. This queen on h4 just seems like it's close to hanging, but maybe I have a way to win a pawn instead. Oh, bishop takes e3. That's how I win the pawn. Nice. See, sometimes the intuition just kicks in, and you just see it. Bishop g5. Okay, we have queen e4 check. Actually, that is kind of an important, an important detail. Maybe I should slow down. And now, now we need to be careful because bishop f6 check is coming, king g8, and then he's gonna have a discovery. Somehow feels like I should take so that I can, if bishop f6 check, king g8, and like bishop takes d5, for example, I play queen takes g1 check, and then I take, and that should be a very decent endgame for black. A lot of passed pawns. Okay, next one. Looks like rook h2. Mate is important. Rook d2, queen f5, king goes back. And then any rook a1, I'm just going to take on d1. And that's a free piece. Okay, this looks like bishop b5. Knight c6, we can just take it. No resources. Okay, bishop takes g6. Oh, well, that's fine. And otherwise the bishop would be hanging on c7. Okay, looks like rook f8. And taking. What's going on here? Ooh, we've moved on to Mr. Kasparov. Alright, and the quote. Tactics involve calculations that can tax the human brain, but when you boil them down, they're actually the simplest part of chess and are almost trivial compared to strategy. How Life Imitates Chess, 2007. Wow, big words. Big words from Kasparov. Okay. Hey, thanks for the follow, Mr. Skuzballer. Let's see what we can come up with here. I'm super tempted by this rook takes c7 move I keep thinking about. But king takes, queen a7, check, bishop b7, second rook comes to c1, and it looks like white will have a winning attack there. Queen takes b7, king e6. I feel like we don't have to calculate further just because the king is so weak, so I'm just gonna go for it. Game over. Nice. Alright, Tukmakov, Kasparov. Okay, back rank is super weak, so maybe queen c5 and then rook a1. You always look for the deflection. That's it. Or I guess in this case, the removing the defender. Okay. Rook takes c8 and queen takes f6. Threatening mate. And no way to stop it. Looks good enough for me. Wow, he'd play this against an engine. Comp Mephisto. Alright, I feel like I've seen this one before. Yeah, Portish, Kasparov. Just check and take the rook. Easy. This looks like rook d5 and queen c7. Queen takes e6 at the end. Knight will come out. Yeah, I mean, that was like, I think they mentioned it was 1985, so maybe he was playing against multiple engines, because back in 1985 their level was really, really low. I mean, maybe they were up to like 2000 at that point, but I'm not even sure. So yeah, at that point, of course, it was just not even close. You know, I don't think ChessBase was even a thing yet. Okay, so what's going on here? If queen c7 check. Or we can just play bishop takes c6 first. Because queen c7, I guess he has queen e7, so maybe we should take first and then give the check. Okay, I think my move order accuracy is getting better. Alright, this looks like a bishop takes f2. I remember this one. Rook h2 and take the rook. Ooh. Is this maybe a mating net? Rook d4. That feels good. Okay, knight c5. Oh, now we've moved on to Alexander Holifman, one of the pseudo world champions. Never play for the win, never play for the draw, just play chess. Okay, I guess they couldn't find a better one that had to do with tactics. Yeah, but knight c5 looks good. Alright, next lesson. Rook b2. Yeah, I feel like they always get easier as you start the set of the next world champion. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like we have rook d4, queen f5 check, king g8, rook e8 at the end, and giving mate. Oh, and if queen f7, then queen c8. And black is losing there too. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I definitely haven't seen a lot of Hollyfmon's games. I've seen a few, but maybe like the most famous ones, but not many of his combinations. This looks like maybe we can sacrifice on h6. Oh, bishop f6. That's a lot more convincing. My bad. And then takes, and knight g6 is kind of forced. Cool. This looks like rook d4. Rook c7, rook d3. Okay, queen takes f6. Kindergarten. It's a Russian saying when a tactic is easy. Looks like rook b3. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to get through all the easy puzzles tonight. I have like maybe 40 more, but they're not like getting super difficult, so I feel like I can go through them quite comfortably. Okay, this looks like a deflection. Knight f2 mate. I think a lot of pattern recognition is really just about a lot of just like the key mating nets and a lot of the basic tactical ideas. So once you start recognizing those, you're in really good shape. Okay, this one looks less obvious to me. I see some hanging stuff. There's just a lot of elements to look for in the game. But one attack is not so convincing. Oh, there's also bishop h3. Oh, rook takes, queen f8, queen d8 mate, and if not, then queen e5 and picks up the rook if the king goes to one of these two squares. Alright. Vladimir Kramnik. Chess is like bodybuilding. If you train every day, you stay in top shape. Yeah, I agree. It is the same with your brain. Chess is a matter of daily training. Yeah, actually, I think that's very accurate. I feel like when you work on your calculation consistently, you really improve it over time, and it very much behaves like a muscle. Okay, so this looks like I'm taking on e5 and then taking on d5 and picking up that rook. Not seeing a great defense for black. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, and I think just a7. Okay. Knight b6? A lot of stuff going on here. White has a lot of very active pieces. The knight b6, rook b8, knight d7, queen d7. It's not that convincing. I feel like white just has a really good position. Oh, knight e5 maybe is... Wait, knight e5, rook f8, knight d7. Yeah, and rook is hanging. Gotta combine the ideas. Okay. E4. I think I've seen this one. Oh, this is actually a pretty recent game. Kramnik Giri. Okay. Vishy Anand. In any match, there are few critical moments when there's no second best decision. The rest of the moves are intuitive. Yeah, actually, that's a good one. I think that makes sense. But what's going on here? How is white winning this one? There's this rook h5 that keeps popping up in the position, but how do we get there? Because knight f6... Oh yeah, I guess queen f6 we take on h5 with the queen, and then we'll pick up the rook with check. That's good. Okay, this is just like begging for e7. Because the rook on c8 is hanging. Ooh, rook f7, knight f7, knight e6 takes queen d4. Beautiful. That's a nice one. The old double deflection. Or double removing the defender. Okay, queen is hanging here. Ooh, this is Carlsen Anand. Queen h6, knight g5 just looks extremely tempting. Okay, yeah. Or, yeah, queen h6. And then if not, if f6, then we just take here. All right. Yeah, I think I've seen this one before. It was knight e3. Yeah, so the question was whether to take with the bishop or with the knight. If we take with the bishop, then white takes here at the end. But if we take with the knight, we keep the exchange. And then bishop takes, it actually wanted to play, I remember it was like rook e8. Alright, in case of rook e3. Oh, whoops. Yeah, rook f e8 is a nice move because the rook is pinned and black is just winning back all of the material. Okay, Anand Hammer, Stavanger, 2015. I've definitely seen this game, but I do not remember the tactic. Okay, it looks like just winning a lot of pawns and picking up this guy. Ruslan Ponomarev. In general, I grew up as a chess player on books. My first computer appeared when I had already become a grandmaster. Wow. This is Pono Conquest 2000. Okay. So here I have a couple ideas. So rook c7 just looks like winning. That's basically it. Here I assumed every move was winning, but it's probably not that simple. Maybe just rook takes c6 and taking the queen. Okay, this looks like rook takes f4. And we have extra material. Bishop h5 or rook f6 and then bishop h5. No, but then you just defend. So probably bishop h5 first. Yeah, because we don't have to give up the exchange right away. And this one, just rook f6. Okay, this looks like a mate, but let's be accurate. So bishop f3, rook f3, some rook takes on g2, king goes back to h1 in both cases. I'm not sure which one I should do. Wait, so bishop f3, rook f3, rook g takes g2, king h1, rook h2 check, king g1, rook f g2, king f1, and I don't see actually a concrete win for black. Hey, thanks Esoteric PA, glad you're enjoying it. Feel like, yeah, it could be interesting for people to just watch watch someone go through these tactics. Oh, I also have rook g takes g2 check right away, and then I take on f5. Yep, that must be it. Oh, that's not it, I was wrong. I saw the cheap way to win a pawn and I thought that was good. Okay, so it is bishop takes f3, but then rook takes f3, and how is black actually winning here? If I take with this rook, king h1, knight e4? Is that a move? And then I have mate? That's kind of tricky. I'm feeling like, oh, maybe it works against, okay, I guess it's also working, but I guess this one is winning as well. But I don't have knight e4 here because he's going to take on f2. Check, king g1. What am I missing? Hey, thanks, Skazuballer. He says he's enjoying the stream. What's going on here? My rook on g2 is hanging. Rook h2 check, king g1, rook g2 check, king f1. Oh, knight e2, knight to e2, and I win the exchange. Yeah, somehow I wasn't seeing this idea. Kind of a blind spot for me. Okay, I think like 24 more to go. There's a lot of puzzles today. It's like 200. I was not expecting to do this much, to be honest. Okay, rook e7 looks like a very strong attack. Then, if this one, actually did not see this coming, but maybe it's okay. Rook d4 takes bishop c6, maybe e5. But e5 I'm less convinced by. We also have takes, queen b3 check, king h8, and queen f7. That looks like it's winning a piece, but yeah, I mean, this one is definitely not... Oh, queen takes d4. Oh yeah, that's a lot easier. I feel like my way was good too, just giving check, king h8, queen f7, and the bishop and mate are also hanging, but it's kind of the same thing. But okay, I will admit that this one does look simpler, but I will maintain that this one was also good. Okay, what can you do? Not going to argue with the book. Rustam Kazimzadov, the current coach and second of Caruana. Sometimes tactics are born out of need. The strategic character of this position is such that if you do not find something, then strategically you are lost. The Path to Tactical Strength 2011. Yeah, Kazimzadov has always been a really powerful tactician. Okay, I've just been looking at this one the whole time. I don't think there's really anything else to look at. The old hook and ladder. This looks like queen h7. 1-2 punch. Oh boy, a lot of hanging stuff here. G2, E1, D3. It looks like rook E5, queen G6. We take on E1. So, then otherwise we just take on G2, and this one I guess we take on E1 and then take on D3. So this rook was important that it was hanging. Okay, this looks like queen D8. More kindergarten stuff. And then bishop H7, Alekhine trick. Okay. Looks like something's hanging in black's position, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. Knight c4 just takes, so not much there. Oh, takes bishop g4, then we take the rook, and then we'll take the pawn, and then queen c1, knight f1 at the end. Is that a red herring? Could be, but I don't know. I don't see anything better for white, so. Okay, but check, yeah, we had knight f1 and keeping a lot of it, or just the extra pawn, but maybe 2 pawns actually. I'm not sure if I counted right. Oh boy, this looks tricky, because he has this discovered attack, but maybe the discovered attack is useless and I should just take on e5. Or maybe oh wait, I have an immediate queen b8, and then there's no rook f8 because bishop e5, and then they'll be mate, so yeah, that looks a lot easier, a lot faster. Okay, there's queen h2, but there's also queen h1. Yeah, queen h2 doesn't work. Takes king h1, and he's fine. But queen h1 takes g2, bishop h2 check. Definitely a motive I've seen before. Oh wait, what am I talking about? Queen is covering the g1 square. That was a miss, but okay. my intuition proved correct. Kazimzadov, Mamajarov. Looks like knight e3, knight takes g4 with check. When everything hangs with check, it's kind of easy. Oh, the previous one was in Perfector Chess too. Yeah, I really enjoy Perfector Chess. That's a book I went through solving all the problems over the board. I don't think I actually finished it. I went through the first 2 sections, and then I think I got through like 20% of the 3rd section, but the first 2 sections were really fantastic. I mean, I think that's the book for all players like 2200 plus, or somewhere around that range, to really improve their calculation and their like combinational vision. Okay, this one looks like a double knight to d7. Wait, no, I'm miscounting there. Forget that. I'm seeing this like knight g6 check, but it's kind of not so clear. Oh, it's a Karyakin tactic. I think this is the first game we've seen from Karyakin. Let's see. Scuzzballer, my rating right now, I mean, USCF is like 2470. FIDE is definitely a lot lower, like 24 or 20. And I am an international master, working towards the GM title, trying to improve my tactical vision. Or maybe not my vision so much. I feel like my vision is pretty good, but more like my calculation accuracy, because sometimes I do miss things and I can miscalculate. Okay, the question is, what am I missing here? I feel like this rook on b8 is just driving me crazy. It's so obviously hanging, but I'm not. Oh, maybe knight takes a6 and knight takes c6, and I win a lot of pawns. It's not 100% convincing, but I don't really have anything better to go off on, so darn. Knight e6. Yeah, I thought about this move, but I didn't. I just thought, oh, well, rook takes, he has to give up the exchange. Yeah, fair enough. Knight e6 looks pretty good. Then takes knight g6. I saw this point, I just didn't think he had to take the knight. If he just moves the queen, what's the idea there? Oh, g7 is hanging. So if queen moves, I take on g7, and I like the knight would have still been on e5, so I would have rook takes g7 check and queen h6. Got it. Got it. Okay, Veselin Topalov, amazing player. I started to find things for him. London Chess Classic 2016. Kind of a lame quote at first, but okay, I get it. He's talking about seeing his opponent's resources. Fair enough. This looks like knight f6 check, just winning the exchange. My bad. King takes g5 and my rook on f1 is hanging, so h5 is correct. And yeah, just kind of a simple deflection. Should have seen that one. I'm definitely getting a little bit tired from the day, but that's okay. I want to power through and I want to finish off accurately. Okay, I almost played queen takes e3 here, allowing queen e3. Knight f6 check looks extremely tempting. Takes, and then rook takes e3, and then I have like rook g3 stuff or queen g4 stuff. This one is not super obvious for me. He's turning queen takes d1 check, so I don't have like knight d2 or any other quiet move. Yeah, I feel like I have to play knight f6 check. Nice. Getting rid of that pesky knight on e3 with tempo, leaving white totally winning. Yeah, this is one of the ones that it's not like you're finding a forced mate, but you just take this guy and then just have like a, oh, and we're gonna be up a piece too. I didn't realize that. Okay, white to play. Here we're down a piece, but it looks like we have a checkmate. Nice. Not gonna miss that. Okay. Knight f3 looks like a bombshell. Can't imagine black survives this one. Sorry, Gatakomsky. I like that I get to play the combinations against like all of these great players. Okay, Magnus Carlsen. Contrary to many young colleagues, I do believe that it makes sense to study the classics. Ooh, I think this was Shada Nakamura, because he's the only one that actually said like the classics aren't that important. I forgot what he said exactly, but basically something along those lines. Okay, I'm definitely on the Carlsen side of the spectrum. I think the classics are very, very instructive. They just show like very simple ways of playing good strategic chess. Knight takes e6, right? White wins a pawn by exploiting the potential pin on the 8th rank, either by knight c6. I'm assuming they mean white has another way of winning a pawn, but how else does white win a pawn? Or rook a1, I guess, is also good. Cool. All right, a few more. Kamsky Carlsen. b6 takes queen e7, and if rook takes, we will promote our pawn. Okay, this looks like a rook c3. Rook e1 check, or I should say double rook e1. We take here. That's a win. Okay, this looks like we should be able to take on h3, and then we have a bunch of checks, and we pick up the bishop on f6. So that's winning for black. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Okay, this is hanging. Bishop g3 looks very good. Oh, that's wrong. Queen f5? Oof. Why is bishop g3 not working? Oh, my queen is hanging on d3. What am I talking about? My bad. See, this is the... Okay, just getting tired, so I'm going to be missing simple stuff now. But that's okay. Hopefully when I come back to it, I'll do better. I'm still at the 97% mark, so that's good. Isn't this the same as the Capablanca game, just knight b5? That happened towards the beginning of the stream. Okay, oh, Magnus Carlsen. Yeah, I just remember this game because this is a pretty important game, and this is one of the Caruana wins over Magnus in the Berlin, nonetheless. Bishop g7 looks very good, and then queen takes, and maybe some rook d7. And white just has like a winning position because, yeah, this bishop on b6 is so bad, and white just has like 2 extra pawns there. Oh, the World Championship, of course. Not gonna miss this one. Oh, I finished the chapter. I guess I finished the easy exercises. Awesome. Well, that feels good. Esoteric, yeah, actually in the past I was reading the 100 Endgames You Must Know book, which I think is a great way to train your theoretical endgame skills, because I think the key thing with all of these theoretical endgames, like the positions with fewer pieces on the board, is that if you just see it once, like, you're rarely going to remember the idea in a tournament game when like the clock is ticking and there's like a lot of pressure. So it's really important to repeat these ideas and these like techniques time and time again. So Chessable is like designed perfectly. I mean, originally it was kind of more for like opening work, and it's still based around like learning your opening repertoire, but I think actually it's so useful for studying the theoretical endgames too. In fact, I really want to just go through that entire book, maybe in a future video or stream or something, because there's a lot of really key positions in that one. And I haven't done any of the opening books yet, simply because I'm a professional player, so I usually work on openings in ChessBase. And rather than go through someone else's repertoire, I'd rather maybe study the repertoire, but then analyze the openings myself and do a lot of opening work. So I've never used Chessable for opening work specifically, but rather just tactics and endgames, which I think is very useful too. All right, so I finished the easy exercises. I got 97%, and it took me, I guess, about 2 hours. A little bit less than this because some of that time was spent reading. And I gained 16,000 experience points. Wow, leveling up. I think I'll probably end the stream here. So thanks to everyone who tuned in and watched. I am planning on streaming more often. I don't have a schedule up yet, but I might be streaming around this time quite a bit in the next few weeks. In fact, I'll probably come back tomorrow and maybe even Wednesday as well. So please make sure to follow the channel if you haven't already, and then you'll get notified when I'm streaming. And I hope to do some more of the technical stuff too. Like, I'll probably put up an official schedule somewhere on the stream page. Okay, yeah, I think I'll sign off there. Thanks a lot for everyone watching. Make sure to check out the links below if you want to follow me on Twitter or YouTube or what have you. And yeah, hopefully I'll see everyone in the next one. So take